I'm waiting for tractor parts, and of course, any of you that have a home shop know not everything that happens in the shop is fun mechanical stuff. Sometimes it's fun construction stuff. My little man needs a toy box. We went to IKEA, we picked up the, what's it called? The Trofast with the little bins. It's finished in a natural birch or pine, whatever wood finish, and that didn't really work for the room, so got to refinish it. We went through a bunch of options, and I think this is the best. Okay, so here are some of the parts from the Trofast. So you can see here, this is one of the boards. It comes with a nice, really nice, actually durable clear finish. I found it pretty hard to sand through. We were going to try and sand it off and stain it. It was just really hard to remove, but I have scuffed it up with some 120 grit on my little mouse sander. After that, this stuff is amazing. If you use this primer, it's a little expensive in the spray can. You can get it in a brush can, but it's kind of like painting with milk. It works, but it's just not as smooth. So for the outer surfaces, I'm using the spray. For the inner, more hidden surfaces, I'm using the brush on. Ends up looking like this, and anything will stick to that. It's really great primer, and in the end, it's going to be this nice. Come over here, nice satin. What's it called? Granite gray spray paint. And I'll probably give it a clear coat. This one has been, I believe this was the brush on primer, because this is the bottom. It's not really going to be seen. Yeah, I may give it a clear coat just to help protect it, but it seems like it's going to be pretty durable. So that's kind of on deck, and once this is done and out of the way and the tractor has steering and I can start moving stuff out and getting things organized, it'll be good. All right, yesterday was a bit of a downer. I got my new ball joints from Home Depot. OEM, MTD, 7/16 20 thread, perfect. Unfortunately, as you can see, if we compare them, there's a bit of a size difference between the two. Yes, this thread is 7/16. This thread is only 3/8, and they don't tell you that when you purchase them. So I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that difference. I could possibly make them work with a bunch of washers and whatnot on this end, but I think that's going to be pretty difficult. So I was able to find 3 new ones online. If I buy I can buy a 4th, but I'm paying shipping again, so I've messaged them, and hopefully they just have another one kicking around that they can send me. And in the process of doing that and some other projects, this happened. Yeah, what can you say? Mastercraft vise, it's about 5 years old, and wasn't really putting much load on that at all, and I heard a pop, and that's it. So I guess that's another thing I gotta go shopping for. Alright, so if you'll bear with me, I'm just laying underneath the 1972 Gilson on a creeper here. Just gonna go over the steering here a little bit and how it's adjusted. It's actually really clever. In the absence of a service manual, I had to kind of figure it out just by taking it apart and looking at it, and sometimes with this old stuff, that's what you got to do. It's actually really clever. So up here we have the little pinion gear. This goes up to your steering column and your steering wheel. You can see we've got new bushings in there, so there's no play in there anymore. And this is your sector, so as you turn your steering wheel, this moves back and forth, and that basically drives your steering linkage. The stops are here. There's one on the other side, and they're just going to contact right up here. So that's what gives you your steering stops, so that you don't
you know, wreck your tires or something. Basically what happens is you want to set the relationship between this gear so that you don't have any play. If this is too far apart, I kind of can't make it happen, but you'll get some play in here. If it's too tight, obviously it'll bind. So the provision they've given you for adjusting it is the shaft here. So right here we have a 9/16 nut on a fine thread washer. It actually goes into this bracket and hits the spacer on the other side here. The spacer hits here. We have a gap here, and that is where we're gonna basically have our free play. On the other side here, there's a bushing and a washer welded to this shaft here. And then the shaft is secured with this little grub screw and comes through here. So as we tighten this little nut, it's going to pull the shaft this way. As it pulls the shaft that way, it's going to push on this washer, which is going to push this closer to that gear and take out our play. Once you've got it where you want it, where it's, this is actually pretty good right here, where there's just a tiny bit of play, no binding, lock it down with your screw, and that will lock the shaft in this direction. And then just to extra secure it, there's another nut that goes right on here, and job done. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so now that that's all put together and adjusted, you can see here, as soon as I move the steering wheel the tiniest little bit, we have action right there. And that's what we didn't have before. I'd be moving the steering wheel and nothing would be happening there. So we've removed some of that free play. How much of a difference does that really make to the handling of the tractor? Well, remains to be seen. It was never going to be a Porsche for the purists, I suppose. But let's see if I can get that much movement on the wheel. Produces movement down there. And that's what we've been after. So that's a great start. Once I get my tie rod end ball joints, I can connect up the linkage, and I'm gonna have to solve this here. This hole is pretty oblong. It's not very round anymore. There was like a little homemade kind of spacer in there. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. Might have to make another kind of spacer or put a bead of weld in there and drill it out, or I don't know. Got some friends that could do some machining, maybe something like that. I don't know if I want to get that crazy, but it needs to be a little bit better. Maybe I can just really tighten that nut and bolt when I put the ball joint in, and maybe that'll be enough. Remains to be seen. It's probably also worth mentioning, this is not the original steering wheel to this tractor. It's something that somebody has kind of cobbled together. They've made a little extension shaft, just bolts through there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really happy with it. It should be more of a deeper dish that starts all the way here and comes up to about the same place. But this is a working restoration, so that's gonna have to do for now. What are the odds of finding a correct Gilson steering wheel anyway? I don't know. Maybe somebody out there knows where I can find one. I hear people like unboxing videos, so here we go. Got a new vise. Replace that broken Mastercraft one. Let's see. This is an Irwin, but it's made by Record, and if you know anything about vices, Record is the name in vices. It's quite the claim to fame. Cardboard. All right.
Thing of beauty. Although I'm gonna say it's a bit disappointing. The ones in the store actually had a record nameplate here, and this one doesn't. That makes me a little bit sad, but it's a lot better than the last one. %. One of the hardest things about working on old equipment is, you know going in that finding parts is going to be tough, but finding information. We might live in an age of information and think that everything's on Google, but a lot of this older stuff, unless somebody takes the time to put it on the internet, it's just not there to be found. I was pretty fortunate through the power of the internet and eBay to find this little gem that's going to make life a lot easier. Came from Thunder Bay, Ontario. All kinds of postage on here. And, sorry, kind of excited about this one. It is 1979 Riding Mower Service Manual from MTD. So this is going to have all the information I need to work on the turf track. Fantastic. And then this happened. Thursday morning. Missed the delivery. This video could have ended with me ripping around on the tractor, but no, they're not going to bring back my steering parts until Monday morning. And I keep on waiting.